Hi, everyone, and welcome to Austin360 Studio Sessions brought to you by Bud Light. I'm Amy Edwards from Austin360 Radio, and we're so excited today to welcome Rochelle and the Sidewinders. Today we have Rochelle Creone and Tom Copen. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
So glad you're here. So glad you're here. You've been Austin veterans of the blues scene, and you've won twice Austin Blues Society's Heart of Texas Blues Award. And I'm stoked to keep lifting up the voices. We're all at Austin360 so excited to keep lifting up the voices of artists in this community through this tough time. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have to say it's Rochelle and the Sidewinder, because there's only one snake with us today. The other Sidewinders are hiding somewhere.
Tom, I got the impression that you were the lead Sidewinder.
Well, I'm probably the loudest one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that makes him more of a winder, not even so much on the side. Just,
there we go.
Right.
Well, I'm really excited to get down to what you guys have going on right now and interview and chat with you guys after your musical performance. So, and there's your baby, right? So,
yeah.
Tom, can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be playing first today?
Sure. So our new album, our second album came out this summer. We thought it was going to be a very good and clever idea to release an album during a global pandemic.
Yeah.
So the album was actually ready for a long time, and we waited until there was a global pandemic and released it. So
yeah.
It's going really well. But anyway, so the first song we're going to play is called Good Love. And it's the first song on the album, and we're excited about it. It's really kind of a traditional blues song, so it's kind of a blues rock song. It's real fun.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you guys take it away. And everybody, please stick around for our interview portion after the performance.
Well, you got it, don't hit the ground, everything.
All right, we're back with Tom and Rochelle of Rochelle and the Sidewinders. Thank you guys so much for being here again with Austin360 Studio Sessions. I'm excited that we get to chat a little bit about everything that you've got going on.
Yeah,
Cool.
me too.
Yeah. How have y'all been holding up? I mean, you're putting out your album that you've had done for a while, huh?
Well, I was just joking. Actually, we finished it. We recorded it in January, February, and March of this year, and then we finished it, mastering and mixing and all that. And it was released, I think, at the end of May or June.
Yeah.
And we've sold so far. We sold 50 copies. 49 have been to my mom, and 1 to Rochelle.
Well, have y'all have been regular fixtures at Cedar Street Courtyard, and you know, how has it been during the pandemic for you guys? You know, because I know it just lacks so much energy, but a lot of artists are finding ways to stretch in new ways, and I wonder, how has the pandemic affected you guys in that regard?
Well, Rochelle, you do the yoga, so you should answer that.
So we are stretching because we're taking on more patio gigs and trying to be more outside and do our thing more outside as opposed to being inside. So we really like performing inside, but you know, that's a part of our big stretch. We're not really into being on camera and doing things live on the computer and streaming and doing that whole thing. So I would say, yeah, that's our biggest stretch in getting more patio gigs and just trying to stay outside and, you know, be in the weather and fight the elements and stay healthy and strong. It's a little different, you know, vocalizing and being in the weather than inside, of course. But, you know, we just do what we got to do and make it work.
Yeah, and that's part of it, you know, just continuing to do what you do and make music and do what speaks to your heart, right? And
Right.
I know in Austin, I'm so grateful to see artists continuing to do that. And I know, Tom, that you've been around the Austin music scene, and maybe you can tell people a little bit, because Rochelle, I feel like, is a little newer. She's been in the band with you guys. You guys are like 5 years old.
Correct. Yes.
But she, from what I heard, she answered an ad and hadn't sung professionally before, which is a trip. And but you and a couple other Sidewinders are veterans of the music scene around here, right?
Sure. Yeah. So our saxophone player Jim used to play with Stevie Ray back in the 70s. Our bass player is from Michigan, but he moved to Austin a long time ago, and he's been around the scene. And our drummer Danny just moved here a year ago, but he's been playing around and doing studio work. And I've been here since the 90s, so I've been in lots of different cover bands, original bands, and touring bands, and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, all of us pretty much moved here for music, but then we discovered Thundercloud, and then we just got real fat and lazy and just sat around all the time. So.
You don't sound like you're lazy at all. Not at all.
Yeah, least lazy dude I know. That dude is always doing something.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I move around a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty active.
Rochelle, what did you think when you answered the ad and like you started in this band?
Well, I just wanted to shoot my shot, and so I talked to him on the phone. And it's funny, we talked about this a few weeks ago, just the beginning of how everything started. And I talked to him on the phone. I was like, I told my husband at the time, we were like having lunch or whatever. I was like, let me call this dude and see what he up on, you know? And so I talked to him, and he sent me an email with, you know, some songs that, you know, he wanted to do an audition with. And I was so intimidated with these songs. I mean, I remember one of them was Hurricane Roof, and there was an Etta James song, I'd Rather Go Blind, and there was a Ray Charles song, Food for You. And I thought all of those ladies that sung it, I was like, how can I do this, you know? So anyway, I practiced and went for the interview, forgot all the words to the song. Because I was just so nervous. I heard him play guitar, you know, and I was like, oh my gosh, this dude he's the real deal. Because, you know, I'm a baby in the music. I mean, I've been singing since a little girl, but it was in church, and I wasn't like the spotlight person. I was in the choir, and I made sure I wasn't singing lead, because I'm super shy, or I was super shy. I'm trying not to be super shy anymore. 2021, I don't want to be claiming that. So anyway, when I went for it, I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna shoot my shot and see. And I don't know, but something in me was just like, this is the one, you know, because I had answered a couple of other ads from Craigslist, but they weren't the one. And something in me was just like, this is the one. This is the one. Don't worry about it. And so even though I messed up in the audition and I forgot the words, the only song I remember was the Etta James, I'd Rather Go Blind. And he heard me sing the first lyrics of that. And he was like, okay, you got it. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
He was like, you got it. I was like, just like that? He was like, just like that. And so it's rest is history. So it's crazy how we linked up from Craigslist, but it does happen.
It does happen. And I like that you said, you know, that y'all are more of a live band. Do you think that's more of a blues thing too?
All I know is when I decided to actually start singing, I wanted to be live. I didn't want to be in the studio and do like studio music. I wanted like live people behind me. I wanted all of that energy. And blues was just something that came, I want to say my grandma's spirit when she passed. She told me just to sing blues. And I didn't know anything about blues. I mean, she played blues every time I went to visit her, and I would hear what she played, but like I was listening to like R&B and rap, so I wasn't really on the blues scene like that. But when I decided to start singing and start trying to do it professionally, that's what I felt that she was telling me, you know, because I was so searching. And so I felt she was like, girl, sing the blues. And I was like, oh God, you know, but I love it. Like, I can't see myself not doing it anymore, you know. It's like,
Amy, I think that's a good question. The history of the blues is taking existing music and reinventing it and taking traditional, like all the blues artists, there's only, you know, they all play the same 300 songs, you know, and everyone plays all the Muddy Waters songs, et cetera, et cetera. So there is a history of live reinterpretations. Of course, there's, you know, albums and stuff, but I think the energy and what Rochelle's talking about, the spirit comes from the interaction. And it's almost like a gospel thing where it's like a call and response with the audience. And even if it's not a specific and verbal call and response, it's an emotional and spiritual call and response. And that's happened with you know, every, you know, genre of music, but I think the blues is definitely more so than other music.
I think so too. Is that what's called to you so much over the years, Tom?
What specifically mean the blues?
Yeah.
It's just, for me, when I got into music, I you know, grew up in the 70s with Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, and then I learned what they grew up with. And so the further back I went, the more I became interested in the blues. And so that's how it became something I was interested in.
Yeah.
And if you listen to any Prince record, I mean, they all came from Sly and the Family Stone and Hendrix, which came from, you know, Lightning Hopkins, et cetera, et cetera. So I just kind of kept going back and back and back.
Yeah, for sure. So much of blues influenced all those things.
Yeah.
And then what other like outside influences do you find? Do you find some that influence you guys that are outside of blues?
Well, Monty Python for sure.
Beautiful. Some coconut shells, or I don't know.
I'm just, you know, everything. I think playing tennis affects my guitar playing. And I think hiking and swimming and, you know, any interaction with people and friends, you know, because, you know, music's a conversation. And if you don't have any, if your vocabulary is stunted and limited, then you have nothing to say. So sometimes I find myself like, well, I've already said all I can say tonight. You know, sometimes you're like, you run out of words or you run out of notes. So everything affects everything. That sounds silly, but it's true.
No, it doesn't. We find influence everywhere, and especially in nature and all these things, you know, and it's cool to like not even just limit yourself to, oh, you know, okay, I'm listening to, you know, X that's going to give me influence. Instead, you can listen to nature. You can hear things just when you're out being active or whatever it is. I think that that's really cool.
I do try to avoid like Walgreens and like Muzak. I'm just joking.
I don't know. You could probably find some influence there too, right?
If we start hearing our song list playing in an elevator, I know we're in trouble and we're too old and we got to give it up.
Well, it's about finding beauty everywhere, right?
Right.
And that's a powerful thing. And even in these dark times like the pandemic, you know, it's about finding that beauty, finding that energy too in a live show. This isn't even a question. I don't know. I'm just talking, but I think
I agree with all. I agree with all of that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, so what's next for you guys as you move into 2021 and we're rounding out 2020? What do you guys see on the horizon?
Right now, our main concern is, as a band leader, I have a lot of different jobs. One of the main things is trying to keep everyone healthy. So we're trying to, you know, we saw a lot of our friends when the pandemic started. You know, you're talking about the live streams. And we realized after seeing 3 or 4 of our friends in their pajamas in the garage, we didn't want to go that route. So trying to keep the momentum of the band and keep us making money and having fun and performing has been challenging. And as Rochelle mentioned, most of our shows are patio restaurant shows, which we love. And we're having a great time doing it. And we're glad that the opportunity is there. But it's different than the normal club festival thing that we've been doing. So going forward right now in the near term, our goal is to keep everyone healthy and happy. Then the midterm beyond that is to get kind of back to where we were, but that's dependent on the world. So we'll see. But really just, you know, try to, you know, get as many people familiar with our music. And I've said from the very first day I met Rochelle, we just have to get as many people to hear her sing as possible and we'll be fine. So that's what we're trying to do.
Oh, I love that. I think that's so beautiful. And, you know, what a good goal, just to keep yourselves healthy, happy, and keep progressing forward in all that you do. And I'm so glad we can share that with the world. Is there anything that you guys would like to add that we missed before we finish up?
Rochelle, did I miss anything?
No.
No.
One thing I would like to add is we are totally excited and appreciative of you guys. First of all, for just the community service you're doing. And it's just fun to see different bands. I've seen lots of different shows you guys have had. And I think it's fun. And we thank you and we're appreciative for having us. And we're excited about the opportunity.
It is so much fun. Now, can you please remind everyone how people can find you online, how they can find your schedule, and how they can find your music?
Sure, of course. So RochelleandtheSidewinders.com. And then we obviously have Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. We have courier pigeons we send out, you know, whatever we got to do. But if you go to RochelleandtheSidewinders.com, it's got our schedule and all our links to everything.
Yeah.
Does he make all these jokes during the show, Rochelle?
He really does. He really tries.
Oh,
He really does.
Sometimes they try to cut me off.
It's great. I'm so grateful that you guys made time to sit down with us and to perform for Austin360 today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Rochelle and the Sidewinders, Rochelle and Tom.
Thank you, Amy.
Lead Sidewinder. Thank you. And I encourage everyone to check you guys out everywhere at RochelleandtheSidewinders.com and on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all the rest. And thanks to everyone that has joined us for all of these studio sessions during 2020. You can find the full episodes on our YouTube channel, which is Austin360 Video. We'll also be playing the sessions on Austin360 Radio, and you can listen there via TuneIn Radio or on Austin360Radio.com. I'm Amy Edwards, and thank you again to Rochelle and Tom of Rochelle and the Sidewinders. Thank you to our awesome production crew too for these studio sessions and for all that they've done through the pandemic and working so hard. You've been watching Austin360 Studio Sessions, brought to you by Bud Light. Till next time.